My name is Mason Hurst. In our family, we shake a lot of butter. So my science fair project question is, what is the best way to shake butter? This is Moo, our milk cow, and this is where we're going to get all our milk and cream for the experiment. Now, the milker. Okay, we're ready to start our experiment. I've done my research and developed a hypothesis. My hypothesis is that the hand shaking is going to do the best in making butter for our experiment. Because when you look inside while you're shaking, there's tons of crashing, and that's basically what makes the butter. So let's go do our experiment.
Wow. Okay, stop a second, let's look. So Mason, what's going on in there?
Well, inside here is cream, and when I twist this handle, those little blades go twisting around and crashing the milk, and all the tiny butter globules inside the cream stick together and form butter after a while.
What about the membrane that's around the globules?
They break down as they get crashed together.
They break down?
Yeah.
And so then what happens?
And then all the sticky butter globules from inside get out, and they start sticking to each other and getting bigger and bigger and starting to form butter. And I am shaking butter to see how long it takes to get butter by shaking the jar. There's 2 cups of cream in this jar, and I've been shaking for 8 minutes. Here we go. In we go. Whoa, it's a lot of butter. All right. Now, take this corner, pull it up, let the buttermilk drip out. Okay, now we're gonna try making butter in the blender. I put 2 cups of cream in this blender, and we're gonna see how long it takes for it to turn out butter on the highest setting. Okay? 1, 2, 3. It's going to turn out as much butter as the shaking method, because it looks like the butter cream is just swirling, so it won't break down the membrane as fast, so the fat globules won't get out. So I don't think this method is going to turn out as much butter as shaking, but I don't know. Let's see. Alright, now we're going to use the KitchenAid mixer to make butter. So now, let me get this, lock it in place, and 1, 2, 3. This is our time comparison chart. It tells us how long it took for each method to turn out butter. The vintage butter churner we spun for 180 minutes 3 times and never turned out any butter. The blender we spun 3 times, and the average was about 20 minutes before it turned out butter. The hand shaking method took about 30 minutes each time, and we did 3 times before it turned out butter. And the KitchenAid mixer we did for 3 times, and the average time was 25 minutes. So in the race of time, blender got 1st place, KitchenAid mixer got 2nd place, and shaking by hand got 3rd place. The vintage butter churner didn't even finish the race. When I did the blender experiment, I noticed that the butter was all sloppy and runny. So I decided to make an additional small experiment to find out how much of the butter from each method was actually milk. So we took a tablespoon of butter from each method, and we melted it, and all the butter rose to the top and all the milk settled at the bottom when it was melted. And the blender butter was actually 45% milk. The shaking by hand percent was 2% milk, and the KitchenAid butter was 5% milk. These are my photographs of melting a tablespoon of butter from each method. See all the milk?
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Mason Hurst.
And why did you choose this experiment?
Well, some of the people in our family have allergies, and so we try and eat and drink the most natural foods and unprocessed foods. And shaking butter and milking our own cow is part of that, so we shake butter. But we do it so much that it would probably be best to find the best way instead of wasting time.
Okay. What research did you do?
Well, I talked to my grandma who has 2 milk cows and shakes her own butter. And I talked to our neighbor who spun cream as a girl. And I even talked to the manager of a dairy farm.
And what did you learn from that research?
I learned how to make butter, how the butter forms out of the cream.
Okay. And let's see, what was your hypothesis?
My hypothesis was that this method would work the best, the handshaking, because when you look inside, there's the most heavy crashing, and that's basically what makes the butter.
So what different methods did you use in your experiment?
I used the handshaking, the KitchenAid mixer, the blender, and the old-fashioned butter churner.
Okay, and how many times did you churn butter using each method?
3 times.
Each?
Mm-hmm.
And what were your results?
My results was that this method turned out the best quality butter. This method was the fastest. But the mix between the two, speed and quality, was this, the KitchenAid mixer.
What did you learn from shaking so much butter?
Well, it's kind of nice to have a machine to do the pump work for you. Because with this machine, your elbows aren't tired.
So did your elbows get tired with some of the other methods?
Yes. This, our elbows got tired, and this, my elbows got very tired.
So after doing this experiment, what method are you going to use to churn butter from now on?
Well, judging from the quality and the speed, from now on, I think I'm going to use the KitchenAid mixer to do all my butter making.
Was there anything in your experiment that surprised you?
I was very surprised that this method didn't turn out any butter because, you know, it's a butter churner. It's supposed to turn out butter. That's what it's made for. And I was also surprised that this method would be the best, judging on quality and speed.
Since completing this experiment, do you have any new questions to investigate?
Yes. I am wondering why this method didn't turn out any butter from all that time. And I was wondering, would it interfere with the results if the cream we were beating was warm or cold?
Did you enjoy doing this experiment?
Yes, I enjoyed doing this experiment. It was fun, except my elbows and arms got super tired watching this little bugger. But overall, I had a ton of fun, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to do this experiment.
Okay, thank you very much.